Joining me now, what seems to be from maybe a fucking igloo. He's got a scarf on and a long sleeve thing. I think is the air conditioner or heater is rolling. A superstar from Tennessee, a guy who has a podcast out called The Well, with a conversation. It's coming out with June Jones about the 1999 Hawaii Warriors team, which is just an incredible conversation. I'm excited for this conversation. This guy has done movies with Liam Neeson, Britney fucking Spears. He's on the new show Inhumans on ABC, Marvel's Inhumans, and he was the star on Hell on Wheels on AMC. He's a handsome fella. Jesus Christ, Anson Mount.
Hey guys, that's a hell of an introduction.
Did you enjoy it? Well, I was right about everything, right?
Yeah.
So
it's crazy to hear your life boiled down to Liam Neeson and Britney Spears, but I'll go with it.
I mean, those were the two things that really shined on your IMDb, bro. Like, that was the two things that really popped up in my eyes. That's on me.
Did you also see that my father was a sports writer?
Yeah, and your mom's a pro golfer.
She was. She's retired now, but yeah.
Holy, so you grew up in a very athletic family in Tennessee.
I guess. I mean, you know, my father worked it out so that he didn't have to stay at Playboy in Chicago and could raise me in his hometown in Tennessee. And he actually didn't want me to play football, so I ended up wrestling. But yeah, generally speaking.
So your father didn't want to be, hold on. What a gentleman, by the way. What a husband. Just hindsighting this decision. He refused to stay at Playboy in Chicago. So he was an editor, a sports editor for the magazine from Tennessee, so he didn't have to stay at Playboy in Chicago?
Yeah, they moved back down in 76 when there was this new machine called a fax. And he was able to do most of his work from Tennessee. He would still go up twice a year. But yeah, it was time for him to go back home, and they were kind of looking around the South, and they pulled into Junior Bibb's gas station and walked in, and Junior said, "Hey, Anson, where you been?"
Oh, small town. That had to feel
time
good.
to come back, yeah.
All right, so your mom's was a pro golfer. She's still, does that mean you're a good golfer? Does that just kind of get passed down?
Oh, I suck, man. You know, but living in New York, you know, that's one of the things that you take a hit on. It's hard to play golf. I managed to get into the woods and go camping a couple of times a year. In fact, we're going out there tomorrow. But no, to be a decent golfer, you got to do it regularly. And number one, I just don't have the location for that. And two, I don't have that kind of mindset. I just never say to myself, you know what, I'm going to take a whole day tomorrow. I'm going to go to hit a ball with a stick. I'm not that kind of guy. But I love going out with my mom when I'm visiting her in Florida and watching her kick my ass. That's always fun.
I bet your mom has hustled so many people on the golf course. It's fucking outrageous. All right, so let's lead into this. You go to Columbia? Is that right? Did I get that right? Did I just do the research?
Yeah, for grad school, yeah.
You went to Columbia for theater. Did you know you were going to get into acting your entire life? You said you wrestled, but was acting like always the dream?
It was around the time I hit 17. I was in the speech and debate team and all of that, and I decided that I wanted to pursue it in college, and my mother was supportive, and so I went to Sewanee in Tennessee, and that has a small but very good theater department that's floated by the Tennessee Williams. Left his entire estate there, and then I studied in New York for a while, and then I went to grad school at Columbia, and I just started acting. I still felt nobody really asked me if I want to do this. I kind of I just sort of started doing it.
What was your first gig?
I did a play at Manhattan Theater Club called Corpus Christi. It was very controversial at the time, and I got the lead the year I graduated.
So can you sing and all that? You can do everything? You're like a full...
Oh, no. People pay me not to sing, my friend.
You're one of the best vapors I've ever seen, though. Just a little side editor's note.
Yeah, and I'm doing a play again this winter at Playwrights Horizons. But no, I don't do musicals because I suck.
You know what? I just think you need a little bit more confidence. Get a little auto-tune on that fucking microphone. I think you'll sound like a goddamn country music star.
Well, now country music is the one place where I can kind of get by because there are very low expectations for male singers in country music, and also I just I feel like I kind of have a bit of ownership over it because I've been a fan my whole life.
Are you a big so country music's your favorite music?
I like I honestly I hate that when I hear people say this because it sounds like a cop out, but it's really true. I listen to everything.
I don't think that's a cop-out. I think that's the majority of people these days as opposed to the minority. I think that's a very true thing. I think because I can get down with some country, techno, and I can go some gangster-ass rap if I need to at any time. I'm all over the spectrum, so I completely understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, me too.
What's your favorite rapper? Who's your favorite rapper? Do you have any?
Well, see, I got friends who are rappers now, so I'd be in trouble if I didn't say Exhibit and Common because
name drop. Name drop.
I don't want to get hounded the next time I see him.
Did Exhibit pimp your ride, bro? Hold on. Wait a fucking minute. You're friends with Exhibit?
I am, but no, he didn't pimp my ride.
Oh.
But I did see him recently, and dude's like, he started a vape company, and it's taken off.
Exhibit, I vape hard, bro.
Yeah, it's called Brass Knuckles, and it's the vapes are shaped like an aluminum set of brass knuckles. It's going crazy.
I love Exhibit. I think, not love him as a person, but I enjoy his, I don't know him. I don't fucking know him. He pimped a lot of people's rides. I'm assuming that blew out so many batteries, so I respected the game though. But this music, are you kidding me, Anson? You're friends with this guy? Let's go. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, broadcast live to you and yours.
It's Mr. X to the Z Exhibit. He's got like that deep ass voice.
He's a good family guy that I just know as Alvin. He's the man though. He's a really good dude, and he's a guest on our podcast coming up soon. And I just like whenever I'm in LA, just stopping by his recording studio and just shooting the shit and catching up.
That's a lifestyle that like superstars live that I never truly understood. So when you go to LA, I go to In-N-Out Burger because there isn't one in Indianapolis. You go straight to Exhibit's studio. Like that's the difference in our lives, Anson.
We would not be embarrassed to be seen at In-N-Out Burger too.
I respect that. Okay, so The Well, that's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
And
that's our new podcast that my best friend and I had this idea I'd been hip pocketing for a few years where, being on one side of the microphone for this amount of time, you start to realize that you hear a lot of recycled questions. And they tend to be not about you, but you in quotation marks. And I had this idea that I wanted to do an interview-based show with people, not about what it is that they're known for so much as about that thing that we didn't know that they do.
Podcast, genuine conversation.
Yeah, and it has turned into sort of a larger conversation about what creativity and thinking outside the box is, and trying to come at that from as many angles as possible. So obviously we got actors, we got musicians, but we got a theoretical physicist, we got like a political consultant, we've got a biologist, and this next episode is going to be with Coach June Jones.
That's fucking awesome. That sounds like a great time because I
credit John McClane at the Houston Chronicle. He found out that we were shooting in Hawaii for the Inhumans, and he said, if there's one person you're going to meet when you're in Hawaii, it needs to be June Jones. And to be honest, I hadn't really followed college sports in a long time. So I knew what June had done. I didn't know a lot about how he had done it. And it was just one afternoon sitting down with this guy. It just absolutely blew my mind in terms of his creativity.
How long was the conversation?
I was at his place a couple of hours, and then I followed it up with about 5 other interviews with some of his colleagues.
That's fucking. I bet you it's an incredible story over there.
It really is.
Emotional? Emotional? What is it? Is it emotional?
It's very emotional because what you find out is that when June came in, in 1998, Hawaii in a pool of 112 college teams in the NCAA, Hawaii was ranked 112. They were the absolute bottom. They had lost 15 straight games. I'm sorry, I think they'd lost like 17 straight games. So June comes into this, but he doesn't try to fix the team. What he sets out to do is to fix the team's relationship with its community and as a community. He even cut his top 2 players because they were breaking the rules. But he did all these incredible things. Like he would just one day they would just not have practice, and they would sit and they would share stories about their lives, so that you're asking these kids to go out there and die for each other. Well, they don't even know each other. And June fixed that, and then they came to him and said, "Coach, if you can do one thing, can you get those rainbows off our helmets?"
Hey, cuz.
And he said, "Yeah, I can do that." And then they introduced the haka under him. So he really brought them, to go from a 98 bottom ranked team to taking a share in the Western Athletic Conference the next year with the same roster minus the top 2 players.
It's brilliant.
That's the single greatest college turnaround in history.
That's absolutely incredible to be able to do that just by a flip of the culture. So the culture, I've always said that every team that I've been on that got along with each other very well and they're like high camaraderie, we had a high success rate. The teams that like each other want to play for each other. I very much enjoy the fact that June Jones was able to put that into his team because not every team likes each other. So that team could have very easily hated each other, but June Jones set them up for success. And that's incredible. That's an incredible story. That's good coaching.
Yeah, and the other thing he did is so many of the things he did, they were the opposite of what you would expect a coach to do. So, for instance, he went in, instead of expanding recruitment, he looked at his roster and realized out of 108 players, he only had 18 Hawaiians. So he's like, well, we're going to fix this.
For sure, because they're playing in Utah and at BYU, and they're playing everywhere. The Big Oos is playing everywhere, except for at Hawaii at the time, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So he needed to get the community reinvested in the team, and one way to do that, he knew. Look, he was coaching the run and shoot, and he's in Hawaii. He knew that there are kids in Hawaii who can run, and he just needed to get creative about how he found them.
That's awesome. That's incredible. When's that come out?
That's going to be this coming Monday.
That's awesome. It's called The Well with Anson Mount, or just The Well podcast?
It's just The Well, but if you go on to iTunes looking for it, you're going to have a harder time finding it unless you type in my name. Or you can go to our website that has all the links, which is thewellpod.com.
That's beautiful. What's next for Anson Mount? What are you going to do? Are you going to write movies? Are you going to direct movies? Are you going to do the podcast, get into talk shows? I mean, Jesus, it seems like you've lived quite a life here. Your dad worked for Playboy, decided to leave the Playboy atmosphere. Your mom's a pro golfer. Now you got a podcast with in-depth conversations, almost like Joe Buck's conversation style with June Jones and all these people. You've been in plays. You've been in movies. You've been in sitcoms. You're fucking all over the place. You're like the Renaissance man. What's next?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I very much enjoy the fact that you just fly by your fucking seat of your pants.
I can't say I'm working on an animated film next, and then going immediately into rehearsals for a play at Playwrights Horizons here in New York called Mankind. And then that'll take me up to like March, and I don't know. I mean, this is the life of an actor. You're a freelance artist, so you sort of you take it as it comes. And I don't know. I'm gonna go camping tomorrow. That's all I'm focused on right now.
Where are you going camping at?
Up in the Catskills.
All right. So do you tent? Do you use a tent? Do you have an RV? What happens?
Well, we usually take tents, but we actually, on the piece of property we're going to, my best friend who hosts the podcast with me, his name is Brandon Edgens. He actually built his own cabin with his own two hands up on that property. So we're going to stay in the cabin while we're there.
Is that camping then, Anson? I feel like you just lied to me. You're going to a fucking log cabin paradise in the woods.
If you saw the cabin, you would agree with me.
All right, Anson, I appreciate your time so much, man. Inhumans on ABC, brought to you by Marvel, right?
Yeah, that's right. And we got our that's the other thing is our season finale is this Friday.
Everybody watch that. What do you do in that? I should have done more research, but I should know that. What do you do in that show?
I play Black Bolt, who is one of the more revered characters in the Marvel Comics universe. And one of the cool things about the character is that he doesn't speak, so I had to learn a whole sign system, or actually I created a sign system to play the character.
What? So you don't even speak in the show? You just use sign language?
Yeah, no, and the really funny thing was that because they're not from Earth, that I wouldn't know American Sign Language, so I had to develop my own system, and I had started a Google Doc that to keep track of it, and it's up to like 50 pages now.
Do you say anything awesome? Does it have an actual? Does it mean anything, or you just?
It does. Because I mean, look, we all got a body, so if you see me just sort of futzing around and flapping my hands around, you're gonna know that I'm faking it. So I didn't want that. So,
you created a fucking language, a sign language?
Yeah.
One of my favorite things I've ever heard in my life. Does anybody else know it, or are you the only? Are you talking to yourself this whole fucking time?
Well, Serinda Swan, who plays my wife in the show, she's a very committed actress, and she wanted to know what I was saying. So, but before every night, the night before every day of shooting, I would make videos of my translations to her. So while I was talking, so she would know what I was saying when I was saying it, and we could get ready like that. So she learned quite a bit of it, but she herself doesn't really sign. And she
doesn't know. She doesn't know how to do my alien sign language. So that's what
it is such a weird job.
Imagine her telling her friends, "Hey, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I got to stay in. How come? I got to learn sign language. Oh, I took sign language in college. No. This is like an alien. It's a different sign language."
Right.
Do you like football?
Yeah, I do. I'm a Titans fan, so I'm look. It's hard to get mad at somebody for getting injured, but I'm like, come on. Oh man, I was so excited after that draft a couple of years ago, and I'm like, oh dude, I feel so bad for the guy, but he's young. So we'll get there.
I like that team that's getting put together right now. I very much
like. We get to just keep working on our line. Keep working on our outfield and our backfield, and it just stay in shape, man.
Yeah, I think you guys are right in the strike zone there to really just get going. But I think I very much enjoy. Did you get it behind the Predators at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. I haven't been able to get to a game yet.
Did you see the Titans offensive linemen chugging beers and throwing fish and shit at that Predator? Like, you would love that offensive line. They were going ham at those Predators games. I was like, I like these guys.
When I was in high school, we had a minor league hockey team called the Knights that we'd always go see. They were famous for getting into fights. And then when the pro team came around, I loved them because they were in this all rookie team that was just pissed off, and made it to the playoffs fairly early in their inception. So I've been following them ever since. I like them, and I like the Flames.
Hockey is just an awesome sport. Not enough people appreciate it, I don't think. It's only a matter of time, though.
Yeah, totally.
Well, Keith Urban was fucking at a game last year, and I think every country musician was trying to get in there. So I think the game is going to grow across the South, which is good for hockey. And for you, Anson, good for you, man. Seems like you're living a life I wish to live. So congratulations on everything. Also, congratulations on knowing Britney Spears. I mean, I know that's how we started this thing and your whole life got minusculed it, but I'm excited for you. That was a big deal when I was in high school.
No problem, man. I'm glad I can live for you vicariously.
Hey, thank you. Good luck in that log cabin this weekend while you're camping, Anson. And I can't wait to listen to that conversation with June Jones on the Well podcast next Monday, brought to you by Anson Mount. The Inhumans on Friday, brought to you by Marvel, where he sign languages from some motherfucking other planet. Nobody understands the language, not even his wife. And Anson, you seem like an incredible dude. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks. I appreciate it. You as well.
Good luck, Anson. Thank you, man.
All right, man. Take care.